back to the BJack 70 show. I'm your host, Brandon Jackson, and it is mock draft day on the channel. Finally dropping my first and potentially only mock draft of this offseason. Last year I only did one mock draft right before the draft started. Um this year, dropping it a little bit earlier, the first one a little bit earlier. I don't really imagine myself wanting to change much unless there's trades or some drastic free agent signings that might shake something up a bit. But I think, I feel good about this one. I guess unless we get some more, more intel, but I've gathered, information, trying to read the tea leaves, um, trying to figure out everything I can from social media, people posting, beat reporters, and tried to, create a nice mock draft based on what I think will happen at the draft in April. So it's a one round mock, no trades, and yeah, just gonna go straight through. Um, if you want to follow along, I'm gonna put it up on the screen here in a second. But if you want to, read the whole thing yourself without me present, I guess, it will be on bjack70.com. I'll put that in the description. Link that below. It'll be on bjack70.com. The analysis of the picks is going to be here on video on the pod. Just on the website is just going to be the list of players, list of names in the mock draft, but the analysis will be here. So just want to let you know up front. That's how it's going to go. But would appreciate you clicking that link and reading it on the website as well as staying through the end of this video and sharing it, posting it, doing whatever. And then also one more ask: hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and y'all know the rest. Y'all know the spiel. Y'all have been here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this mock started. And number one, super, not a lot to say. It's the Las Vegas Raiders, Fernando Mendoza, quarterback from Indiana. It's simple. The Raiders have the number one overall pick. They traded away their starting quarterback. They need a quarterback. They have a new coaching staff. Mendoza is the best quarterback in the draft. It's simple. It's pretty simple. Don't need to explain it further than that. Can't wait to see what he can do with Clint Kubiak. But yeah, don't really need to spend too much time on this. But let's go. Number two, and we're on the website, so you're gonna see you're gonna see the other picks. I'm just gonna scroll because you'll see them anyway. Number two overall, New York Jets, Arvell Reese, linebacker from Ohio State. Arvell Reese showed out at the combine, 6'4", 230, 235 at the combine, ran a 4.4. Just an athletic freak, somebody that can be used potentially at edge, off-ball linebacker, any combination of spots you want to put him in. If you want to, on early downs, have him at off-ball linebacker, on third downs, rush him off the edge. He's not Micah Parsons, but kind of built in the same vein of how you want to use him. You can use him at multiple different spots. Hopefully Aaron Glenn knows what to do with him if this is the pick. But he's just a super athlete, great football player, Cleveland, Ohio's own Arvell Reese. Number 3, the Arizona Cardinals taking an offensive lineman, Francis Managoa from the University of Miami. Probably the best offensive lineman in the draft. Just, based on skill. Somebody that played right tackle can definitely start at right tackle. But if you want to, can probably move inside at either spot. Somebody with a lot of utility, I believe, going forward in the league. But a really good offensive lineman, bolstered Miami's offensive line, the run game, the protection game. He was that guy from the right side. So really not a surprise for him. Would not be a surprise for him to go in the top 3. Can't see him falling out of the top 5. But yeah, Francis Managoa, offensive lineman for the Cardinals in their new regime, new head coach, Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. Where there's rumblings and murmurs about Ty Simpson here at 3. I don't think that would be a good idea. I hope they don't do it, but you never know. Ty Simpson will be going in the first round in this mock draft, just not here. So we got number 4, Tennessee Titans, Jeremiah Love, running back from Notre Dame. A lot of people's best overall player in the draft. He's explosive. He's fast. He's strong. He has good vision, can break tackles. He can do it all at the running back position. And I know people are asking, Tennessee Titans, don't they need other things? Yes. But when you got a shot to pair somebody this dynamic with your young quarterback in Cam Ward, I think you kind of just have to go ahead and do it. Usually picking a running back this early in the draft would be, it's kind of what they call a luxury pick. And the Titans don't have the luxury of doing something like this, but I think they can be better than we think they are if they can get their offense shored up in 2026, and this will be a move to do that. I've heard, seen on Twitter, Jeremiah Love rumblings in Tennessee that they love him, that they want to pick him. So I'm going to put him here at number 4. Obviously, it's very possible they don't pick him here, but he wouldn't fall much further. He would not fall out of the top 10 if he was to not go to Tennessee at 4. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing where he does land. But I got him at 4 at Tennessee because I think it would be a good fit for Tennessee, for the offense, upgrade over Tony Pollard, help out Cam Ward. It would be a bold first pick from Robert Saleh as the head coach of the Titans, but sometimes you just got to pop out and show them. It is what it is. Number 5, New York Giants, Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. Less of an edge threat than his teammate Arvell Reese, most likely. But this is a guy even bigger, 6'4", 6'5" at the combine, 240. Also 4'4", just another athletic freak that they had in the Ohio State front 7. Somebody that really showed up at the combine. Great tape on film. I got him going to the Giants just because I think it's a good fit. I think he can be the leader of the defense for John Harbaugh. You lock in Sonny Styles at pick number 5 in New York. I'm like, that's planning for him to be there for a decade. Like, that's going to be their guy at linebacker calling the defense, got the green dot on the helmet, making the adjustments, calling the plays, doing everything you need him to do. And I think it's a good spot for him. I can't his stock is so high after the combine and pro day. Cannot see him falling out of the top 5. So I got him going to the New York Giants at 5. Number 6, Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle, University of Georgia. Now look, everybody, every single, well, maybe not every single one, but a lot of mock drafts that I see on the internet have the Browns taking Carnell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, here at 6. And I do understand the thought process. I really do. I truly do. You desperately need a wide receiver in that room. And I promise you will get one later. But based on what I have happening in this mock draft, I don't think they can get a tackle that they want at 24. And I don't think they're a team that needs to be giving up draft capital to move up in this draft. If they're going to move up in the draft, it's going to be next year, 2027, to get a quarterback. That's going to be their move. They want to move up in the draft, not this one. So they desperately need a wide receiver. But if you look at what the Browns have done this offseason, they have left everything open. They have figured out every other spot on the offensive line except left tackle. There is a huge hole left at left tackle right now, and they need a guy. They need one of these rookies to come in and start week 1. So don't chance it and not take the tackle here to hope you can land one at 24. Because I'm telling you, the way this mock draft is going to go, what I think is going to happen, there's not going to be one that you want to start at left tackle week 1 of the NFL season. There's not going to be one left. So you better go ahead and get it at 6. And I got them taking Freeling at 6. I'm a fan. I love the upside. I love the athleticism. He has the traits to be franchise left tackle of your team for however long you want to keep him, however long he wants to stay. He has those traits. It's just a matter of getting him in the building, making sure you do everything to develop and bring that talent out of him. But it's in there. You can see it on film. It looks like it's there. I did a breakdown of just 1 quarter of his film against Ole Miss, and he looks the part in 1 quarter. So the talent is there. I believe that they're going to bring him in. They're going to start him week 1 at left tackle and just go from there. So everybody that wants Tate at 6, I'm sorry. This is the better option. Getting the tackle now and trying to get one of these good receivers later versus the other way around. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. All right. A lot of Browns focused content there. All right, moving on. Number 7, Washington Commanders got David Bailey, the edge out of Texas Tech. A lot of people got David Bailey going 2 to the Jets. Some have him going 4 to the Titans. I have him falling here just because I don't think the Giants need an edge, and I got the Titans taking Love. So it kind of just, this isn't David Bailey disrespect. This is just fortunate for the Commanders here if the board falls this way. They need a top flight playmaker on defense, whether it's off-ball linebacker, edge, corner, say whoever they could get to make plays on the field in Washington, they're going to pick at this pick. And if Jeremiah Love were to fall to 7, he'll be getting picked at 7. So I don't know. However the board breaks out in real life, I feel like they're either going to be taking David Bailey or they're going to be taking Jeremiah Love at this spot. So we'll see how it goes. Number 8, the New Orleans Saints. I got them taking Mansour Delane, the cornerback out of LSU. And I think this is kind of bold. I think this might be a hot take because I haven't seen him go to the Saints, and I don't think I've seen him go this early in a mock draft. I'm a big fan of his. I just so happened to watch a lot of LSU throughout the football season, and I always saw him making plays. I think he's the best corner in this class, and I think the Saints could use it. Given what the Saints have done so far in the offseason, they still got Chris Olave. They probably need to go defense in this draft, and I got them taking the best corner. Might not be a sexy pick, might not be something that Saints fans want to hear, but I got them taking the best corner in the draft. All right. Fireworks coming in these next few picks. Number 9, the Kansas City Chiefs taking Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Do they need to be taking wide receiver at the number 9 overall pick? Probably not. They probably need to be looking at an edge. They probably need to be looking at a corner. They probably need to be doing other things. But if you're Kansas City and you've seen the wide receiver trades and contracts, you've seen those values and prices go up. They keep going up. The price for DJ Moore was high. Jackson Smith and Jigba just signed for $42.8 million a year. AJ Brown, they're not trading AJ Brown unless they get a first and some more stuff. Like, the prices for wide receivers have exploded. So what better time to get you a cheap number 1 wide receiver than right now? This is very fortunate for them. They're not used to picking in the top 10. The last time they picked close to the top 10 was when they traded up to get Patrick Mahomes in the first place. So them being able to get Tate here is just going to set the team up, set Patrick up for a good next 5 years at the least for the length of this rookie contract. Tate, I think, is the best wide receiver in the class. He's super talented. I think Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy will be able to get the most out of him, especially when that room looks like what it looks like. Hollywood Brown left. They brought back Tyquan Thornton, but Xavier Worthy is in the room. Xavier Worthy has not yet proven to be that number 1 receiver. And then the elephant in the room is Rashee Rice. Is Rashee Rice going to get suspended again? Is he going to be in more trouble? You kind of just never know what the goings are going to be with Rashee Rice. And if you're counting on him to be your number 1 guy in that room, you might be disappointed, not because of what he does on the field, because when he's out there on that field, he's excellent. But you don't know if he's going to be out there on that field just because of all the nonsense that he partakes in off of the field. And that's me putting it lightly. So getting Carnell Tate kind of alleviates the pain of all that in that wide receiver room, even though you might think they want to go edge more here than they want to go receiver, but when you can get the best receiver in the draft versus what edge number 3 or 4 in the class, I think you got to do it. So moving on, like I said, it's fireworks at these next few picks. Cincinnati Bengals take Ruben Bain from the University of Miami, the edge rusher. The edge rusher, a lot of people, Kansas City, a lot of people think Kansas City wants to take. Cincinnati obviously just lost Trey Hendrickson. Put Ruben Bain in his place. I think, he's not Trey Hendrickson, at least not right now. Maybe has the potential to work into somebody like Trey Hendrickson, but very good edge. I know, we talk about the short arms and what that means for edge rushers coming out of the combine, but when you look at the film, he's explosive. He's a really good difference-making edge coming off, difference-making pass rusher coming off the edge. I just think it would be a good fit for Cincinnati to take him here. And if the board falls like this, I think they will jump at the opportunity to take the potential of somebody like Ruben Bain. Number 11, Miami Dolphins, Jordan Tyson, receiver from Arizona State. Miami probably needs everything except the quarterback because they signed their quarterback. They want to see what they have in Malik Willis. They don't need a running back. They got running back figured out with Devon Achane, Ollie Gordon. They got that figured out, but they need everything else. So they could go a number of different spots here, but just coming off of the shock of them trading away Jalen Waddle to the Denver Broncos, I got him taking Jordan Tyson. Just at least to help Malik Willis have somebody to throw to during the 2026 season. It's going to be really hard to evaluate Malik Willis if you don't have somebody to throw to. So they're going to fix that. They're going to get Jordan Tyson in there, and they'll at least have each other, if not anything else. So got them taking Jordan Tyson. Number 12, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, got them taking Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State. And I know there's a lot of mock drafts that have them taking a corner, but I think if they saw Caleb Downs available when they got up to pick, I think they would rush that in. Because it's not necessarily a corner, not somebody you necessarily want to play at corner, but just to have a guy like Caleb Downs in the defensive backfield, I think this is the perfect spot, perfect value for somebody like Caleb Downs. And the Dallas defense needs it. They need it. They need it. They need it. They need it. They have. I think they have corners that can be good. I think they have talented corners. It's just a matter of getting it to work. So I think, especially with Caleb Downs on the board, I think they take him rather than trying to get, whoever second best corner might be on the board. Because I do think that they covet Delane from LSU. But as you can see, I got him going way before the Dallas Cowboys get on the clock. So I think Caleb Downs to Dallas would be fun. I think it would be fun. Next up, number 13, the Los Angeles Rams Spencer Fano, still don't know how to pronounce the name, but Fano, offensive lineman from Utah. He's the one that people can see playing tackle or guard, and the Rams could use some utility on that offensive line, create offensive line depth. Uh, this offensive lineman will start for them. I just don't know. Would start for them, just don't know at what spot. Really depends on what they see in him, what they want to do with him. I think it's a good fit. I think it's a good fit because he's a very good offensive lineman. He's a very good offensive lineman. And like I said, the utility that he brings probably would speak to the Rams based on the personnel that they already have. And I just feel like it would be a good fit based on what was on the board. I think it would work out for the Rams. All right, let's scroll a little bit here. Number 14, the Baltimore Ravens. Ola Vega, Ione, the guard from Penn State. The Ravens need interior linemen. They just lost Tyler Lindenbaum. Go get somebody. I don't know actually if he can play center or not, but they need offensive linemen. They need somebody on that interior. Ione is good. I think he'll slide right in there. Okay. Next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have him taking Jermon McCoy, cornerback out of Tennessee. And the Buccaneers were here in a spot based on how the board fell. I kind of just took who was kind of best player available, I thought. At least looking at their needs and looking at what they need, I think McCoy would be who they looked at as best player available at this spot. And then at number 16, you can see it, Ty Simpson, quarterback from Alabama, going to the New York Jets. The New York Jets, their second pick in the first round. I think it just makes sense. I think it makes a lot of sense for a guy like Ty Simpson, who does not have that many starts in college, does not have that much experience playing the quarterback position at a high level. I think it would make sense for him to go to a team with a guy like Geno Smith already there, and he doesn't have to start right away. He can learn from a professional, somebody who's been in the league for, at this point, more than a decade, almost 13 years now, in Geno Smith. Learn how to be a professional, learn how to carry himself, and hopefully 2027 take over the reins and see what you got. Yeah, and this was really, I mean, there was like a couple of spots I could see him going, but it's really, if he doesn't go to the Cardinals at 3, which I don't think he will, it was either here at the Jets or at 21 with the Steelers, as you know, the same thing I said, but swap out Geno Smith for probably Aaron Rodgers, but the same concept. So, but I got him going 16 to the Jets. All right. It's been about 30 minutes so far. Let's try to go through these a little bit more quickly. At number 17, got the Detroit Lions taking Caden Proctor, offensive tackle from Alabama. They just lost Taylor Decker. Slide Caden Proctor right into that left tackle spot. He's a polarizing prospect. A lot of people love him. A lot of people hate him. A lot of people just like him. A lot of people don't know how to feel about him. I'm a guy that does like Caden Proctor. I I think he has the talent. I think he has the potential. I think he has the upside. Somebody I want to see do well. And I think it'll be a good spot for him in Detroit. Next up, Minnesota Vikings taking the safety out of Oregon, Dylan Thieneman. This feels preordained. Every single mock draft that I've seen has him going here. It feels like a good fit. Harrison Smith walking out the door, just get another really good white safety walking into the door to replace him. Feels like a perfect spot and the perfect fit. 19 Carolina Panthers, Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon. This one feels like it makes sense. Get Bryce Young another weapon. Because you don't need a receiver. They got Teteroa McMillan, they got Jalen Coker. Still got some other guys in that room. We'll see if they can emerge. But they don't really have anything at tight end and haven't really had anything worth talking about at tight end. But I think that's going to be important for Bryce Young moving forward. And Kenyon Sadiq is a very, 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 very tantalizing prospect with some potential. And we got the Dallas Cowboys coming back up at number 20, and I have them taking an edge, Akeem Mesidor from Miami. I think Dallas will look at Mesidor as somebody that can contribute right away because he's older. We've seen what he could do across from Ruben Bain. I think they obviously need edge help to replace Micah Parsons, and you're not really going to do from the spots that they were picking in this draft. That's just not something you were going to be able to do. We think about the Cowboys as a team that wants to trade up, and if you do mock drafts with trades, the Cowboys are primed to be one of the teams that trades up. Maybe they trade up to 6 if it falls like I have it falling. They go up to 6 to try to get David Bailey in front of the Commanders, something like that. But as it stands, I don't like to do trades in mock drafts because I can't predict that. Something I can't predict. So got them staying here and taking Mesidor from Miami. The Pittsburgh Steelers at 21, taking Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle from Utah. They need a tackle. They've all every team pretty much can take an offensive lineman. Every team needs a good offensive lineman. Every team could use another tackle, could use another good offensive lineman. But the Steelers need one here, and I think they take the last one that you really want to start. The last tackle in a tier that you really would be comfortable starting week 1. And again, I'll get to it when I get to 24, when the Browns come back on the clock. But I think Lomu is probably like the cutoff of where I would want to pick a tackle to be starting this season. But I could be wrong because there's more tackles that get drafted in this mock. So we'll see. 22, I got the Chargers taking edge, Keldrick Faulk from Auburn. I'll be honest, all the edges from here to the end of the first round, there's a cluster of edges that could be interchangeable. But if I think your team needed one, I just gave you one. So the Chargers, I think they would go best defensive player, and I think here they're going to take whatever edge they think is best. Here, I gave them Keldrick Faulk from Auburn. At 23, the Philadelphia Eagles, and a lot of mocks have them taking a receiver in advance of them trading A.J. Brown away. Well, I'm doing a mock draft and AJ Brown hasn't been traded. He's still on the team. So as long as he's still on the team, I'm gonna act like he's still on the team. The Eagles signed Elijah Moore, who is apparently AJ Brown's best friend. So are they trying to smooth things over? There hasn't been a lot of talk, a lot of movement on that front right now. So I'm gonna just act like AJ Brown is staying. So I don't have them taking a receiver. I have them taking an offensive tackle. Max Henniker. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody say his name yet, so I don't know how to say it. And my apologies to that young man, but he's an offensive tackle from Arizona State. Um, got him going here. Lane Johnson isn't going to play forever. Um, and that's really I thought about giving them an edge. Probably, could have given them an edge here, but where they're at, I don't know. I don't really know what they want to do here. So I gave him a tackle, but they very well could have taken an edge here. And then we go down to 24 with the Cleveland Browns, and they select Makai Lemon, wide receiver from USC. And I think he's clearly the third wide receiver in this class. I think Tate is one, I think Tyson is two, and I think Lemon is clearly number three. And this, if looking back at the rest of this mock draft, the picks that came before it, this is why I had the Browns taking Monroe Freeling at number 6, because by the time you get here, there's no left tackle to be had to be able to play right now this year. All of them are gone. If you really wanted to get one, you probably would have had to move up to 16 to get in front of Detroit Lions, to get Caden Proctor, or if you wanted to do get up to 20 in front of the Steelers for low move, but there's so many moving parts. It's so hard to do during the draft. I got them taking a receiver. I got them taking Lemon. They get the receiver that they need at 24. Lemon is one of the best in this draft. He's probably a slot guy, but he might be able to do more than just be in the slot. He might be able to be on the outside. We've seen him be a contested catch guy in college. There's been no real character concerns in college. The only thing, people got weirded out about how he did interviews, and honestly, that's not something that the Browns seem to worry about since they have Shedeur Sanders on their roster. But I got them taking Lemon. I got them getting the receiver that they desperately need, and at 6, getting the tackle that they desperately need. I think if the board fell this way, I think Browns fans should be very happy at how this turned out. At 25, the Chicago Bears, Emmanuel McNeill-Warren, the safety from Toledo. I love this fit. I really want this to happen. I want him to make it to the Chicago Bears because I want them to pick him. I thought about giving them an edge, but with McNeill-Warren being on the board, I can't remember because they just lost a safety in free agency. They just lost a safety in free agency, and they just signed one in free agency. But you can slide McNeill-Warren next to the safety that they just signed. I forget who they got. My apologies. and I'm doing this late. I'm not gonna look it up. My bad on that one. But I love McNeil Warren and I love him in Chicago. I really want to see this pairing happen. Um, at 26, I got the Buffalo Bills taking an. I think they need an edge. I think it would be a good fit. The at 27, got the San Francisco 49ers. Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver out of Indiana. The Niners need a receiver. And I find it fitting that they would go get the receiver in this draft that is most similar to what they had in Deebo Samuel. Now, I'm not saying he's exactly Deebo Samuel. I'm not saying he one for one fits that archetype, can take carries out of the backfield like Deebo did, but I think he's similar, and I think he can be used in almost a similar fashion as Deebo, and I trust Kyle Shanahan to make it work. At 28, got the Texans taking Blake Miller, offensive right tackle at Clemson. The Texans need offensive line help however they can get it. I don't think Blake Miller is a true like first round talent. But given what the Texans need and given what's left on the board, I think it makes sense for them to take Blake Miller here. So it might be a little bit of a reach, but they need him. They need him desperately. They need all the offensive line help they can get. So I got them taking him at 28. The Kansas City Chiefs come back up at pick 29. They take their edge here, Cassius Howell. And again, all these edge names in this tier can be mixed and matched, and because I really like what I've seen from all of them. So it's really like a pick your poison, who you like the most, whoever's left when you get to pick. And I got the Chiefs taking Howell here. 30, Miami Dolphins. I got them taking Avion Terrell, the corner out of Clemson. And again, I just went best player available. They need offensive line help, but there's no good offensive line here to take at 30. So I got them what I thought was the best player left on the board, and that was a very good cornerback in Terrell from Clemson. New England Patriots, arm Mason Thomas, the edge from Oklahoma. Again, see everything I said about all the edges being interchangeable. I think they need an edge, but again, it was like best player available given who was on the board. And I think this would be a good one for them. And then last but not least, the Seattle Seahawks rebolster their cornerback room next to Devin Witherspoon, take Colton Hood, the cornerback from Tennessee, who was the best corner left. There's a lot of ways there could have gone. Could have got TJ Parker from Clemson. Could have got one of the like true off ball linebackers like CJ Allen from Georgia here, but had them go on corner because I think Colton Hood is worth it at corner at the end of the first round for the defending Super Bowl champions. So that's it. That's the mock draft. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate you, enjoying the content. Again, if you're still here, I thank you in advance for liking the video, subscribing to the channel. Let me know what you think about the mock draft in the comments. Share the mock draft. That'll be on bjack70.com. And it's draft season. It's mock draft season. Hope you enjoyed the content. And at some point, maybe if I don't do a whole new second mock draft, maybe I'll add on a second round to this one. Don't hold me to it. Don't know if I'll do it, but when I was doing this first round, adding a second round to it was something that, felt like I maybe wanted to do in the future. But we'll see. But again, this has been a long one. A lot of me talking. I'm losing my voice. My throat hurts. Pause. And so thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.